Damn, poor Rob, man. He had to do Rob like that, man. For real. We'll get into it right after this.
Work hard, play hard, grind hard, stay hard. No, we stay out, make your way out. But I just can't stop, won't stop hustling. But I just
SnowFall Season 5, Episode 1, titled Comet. Let's get into it. Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, the real is back. Let's just call it what it is. Just call it spade a spade. It is what it is. The real is back. If you've been watching my other videos earlier today, you can see the numbness has went away. I'm back to speaking normal just in time for the hottest show on TV. Now, who else was watching this show? And when it cut to when they did the beginning scene and it cut to the credits, I was hoping it says, "Here comes a big rich town." I'm so spoiled by Power. I was just like, "Oh, wrong show. This ain't Power." These episodes were we got 2 episodes. That's one thing I can say Power doesn't do. It don't give us 2 episodes, brand new episodes on the same night. It's not doing that. So kudos to SnowFall. They gave us 2 episodes. And what they were doing in these episodes is kind of just reintroducing our core character and cast, giving us an update what they've been doing in their lives. And then they actually eliminated a couple new characters because they're probably going to bring in different characters as well. Or for the simple fact they brought in new characters, they're eliminating old characters who probably don't really have much of a storyline. So we see that, like everybody said, everybody had this prediction. Everybody, me, Mark Dart, just reading the synopsis, we all knew that this was going to start off with the Len Bias situation from 1986 in Baltimore, Maryland. If you don't know who Len Bias was, he was an up-and-coming basketball player who was poised to be the next big thing. Unfortunate partying, and one night he overdosed, and it caused just a ripple effect. A lot of cops and whatnot start cracking down, probably from pressures from the league and the colleges to kind of just, and the president, just get this under control. And we see at the beginning, and first thing I thought was like, yo, they could have got somebody that looked like Len Bias. This dude looked nothing like Len Bias, but unfortunate situation. But this is what I was talking about. After that scene, I thought I was going to go into, this is a big rich town. And to come to find out, all this time, SnowFall never had a theme song. But I'm not mad at that because we get more screen time. Cut to beginning credits, and Franklin Saint is a pilot. Yes, Franklin Saint is flying a damn plane. I said, wow. How did this dude, he just keep amazing me, man. Like, seriously, straight boss shit. Pull up to his hangar. Yeah, I ain't gonna be needing that for a week, y'all. That's my Franklin Saint impersonation. He got the 2 bodyguards from the last season. I forget their names. But the 2 girls, and I was like, that's dope. He still got them on payroll. These are his bodyguards. He's sitting in the old school caddy, or new school back then, and he just Franklin Saint dappered out with his polo. He's making a phone call to the woman we saw in the trailer, who is his baby mama. And she is running his real estate organization. And they're thriving. They're doing very, very good. They got a full staff. And he gets into town, he talks to her, and this is before we find out she's pregnant or anything. We just getting introduced to her. We don't see Sissy nowhere in sight, so I don't even know if Sissy's going to be in the season. I'm trying to remember if we saw her in the trailers, and I don't think we did. I don't know, maybe she's not on the show no more. Even when they were talking to her on the phone, they didn't cut to actually showing her. But we pull up to this party, and I'm like, what the hell going on? At first, I thought it was Rob's house. I thought Rob was having a party, but that wasn't the case. We see that the 2 bodyguard, I think their name was Peaches and something. No, Peaches is his bodyguard. I forget their names. Remind me in the comments. I'm sorry, y'all. I probably should have did some more. I should have did some research. But y'all know how I am on this channel. I'm forgetful. But anyway, we see he got a new plug. He goes by the name of Grady. And this dude is all about having fun. He's my type of plug that I would want if I was in the business. This is the type of plug I would want. Somebody I could have fun with. Somebody that's cool. All about the vibes. You get over there, there's all kinds of vibes walking around. And come to find out, he's banging one of Franklin's bodyguards. The way he grabbed her, I thought she was gonna be like, "Man, get off of me," but she was just like, she didn't really say nothing. I was like, "Uh-oh." Then we see later on that he really is getting in that thing. She done came up. But anyway, we see Gustavo over there as well. And Franklin's over there talking business. He's trying to get the price cut down to a certain amount per key. And First Grade is just like, I can't really do it, blah, blah, blah. But he winds up obliging. And, he's just like, listen, man, why you always talking business? And he's trying to get them to have fun and loosen up. So he obliges and he agrees with Franklin's terms. And it's funny, though. Like, everybody's uptight. You got to understand all this shit these motherfuckers done been through. So they just trying to make sure business is business, because business is business. Business got to be on point before any of that other shit come to play or fruition. So we see, and this warmed my heart, seeing Jerome and Louis riding horseback riding. I said, look at these uppity ass Negroes. They done came a long ass way. And then the conversation between these two, they so giddy and so in love with each other still after all the shit they done been through. They talking nasty to each other. Jerome like, yeah, I just bought this horse right here. It's good. And she like, oh my God, really? Louis in full get up. I'm like, man, that warmed my heart, man, seeing them, dude. That's how it's supposed to be. Even later in the episode where, Gustavo's like, you guys are like Bonnie and Clyde. And he like, man, well, we knew all that movie. And he was like, no, not saying like that. He's like, the fact that y'all got each other. And then when Louis even gets in the truck and she's like, yo, I want to tell you how much I appreciate. Ladies, do that to your man. You want to speak positive, motivational things to him. Uplift his spirits. Let him know he's your king. Men love that. I'm telling y'all, we love that. We love being appreciated. And it's vice versa, but men have to constantly be told and appreciated on a daily basis because, a lot of us are the breadwinners, or we got a lot more stuff we got to deal with, just being a man, just running a household, or being the martyr or the top dog of the family. So you want to constantly preach things and uplift your man as much as you can. We love that shit, man. We might not come on to say it, but we love it. I remember having a conversation with my brother, and he was like, the fact that he was upset that the fact his girl don't feel appreciated. And he was recently saying, because I proposed to my girl, and I think she mentioned it, like, oh yeah, that's nice. Why you don't do that? And I looked at him. I was just like, well, shit. And he was just complaining about her. So she got a lot, you know what I'm saying? So, if you watching this, until y'all work out the kinks on what y'all need, and she get on, and she gets to who you need her to be, nah, don't do it. But anyway, back to the show. I'm going on a tangent. Y'all know how I do. Back to Jerome. We see what Jerome's doing, and I kind of felt bad. Everybody's out horseback riding, flying planes, and you got Jerome still in the damn projects. And I don't know if it's, and I remember for the last season when Franklin was like, I need you to be in the projects. I need you to run this shit. It's a big profit for me. You pretty much ain't going nowhere. And Jerome is somebody he can control. That's his friend. I think Jerome is also, not Jerome, Leon. Why am I saying Jerome? I'm sorry, y'all. Leon. Leon is somebody he can control. I think Leon is also a little scared of him because Franklin is a wild card, and he was definitely scared when he told him he killed Rob. He was just like, but we'll get to that. So yeah, that's who I felt bad for the most. I was like, Leon, damn, still in the projects. But he's beating some kid. Some kid stole some sneakers, some Jordan 1s from him. We see Big Boy that's still down with them, Diesel dude. He walks in with the pipe, and I'm thinking, oh boy, him and Leon didn't really get along, but now they working together, running the projects together, and the old boy stole something, and Leon broke his foot pretty much with the pipe, and he was like, yo, yeah, he tell him he can keep the sneakers. He earned them now, or some shit like that. I'm like, damn, savage. But he was telling Leon, like, listen, y'all paying us scraps. Like, y'all not really paying us nothing. So, like what you expect. And I was like, yo, that's some real shit right there. Like, you got to take care of your guys. And Leon told him, though, he was like, yo, you know how it is, man. The harder you work, the less you get paid. I said, damn, amen. Ain't that the truth? That's some real shit right there. The harder you work, remember that in life. The harder you work, the less you get paid. That's just how it is. We cut to this party at Rob's house. And my dumb ass still thinking it's the same party that Grady and Franklin are at, but this is a whole different party. This is at Rob's house, and we see that kid named Josh is getting into it with this other kid, I guess, who came and just took a line from them. And he's just kind of just chumping this kid out. I don't know if it's the fact he's talking to the girl. He probably liked the girl, and the kid over there just trying to mac. I think that's what it might have been. But he took it upon himself to make it seem like it was about the drugs. And the kid's like, yo, whatever. He's brushing him off at first, and then he put out that pistol, and kid kind of bitched up. He's like, oh, now you want to say something, yeah. But Rob gets up, he tell him, like, yo, dude, chill. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, chill out, chill out. And you can tell this kid is feeling himself because I'm like something up because he's feeling himself too much. But it comes out finding out that he knows about pretty much the whole organization. So he knows the power that's behind that. So I'm like, oh, that's what it is. And he pulls the piece, and Rob gets him to settle down, but then all of a sudden he decides to just pull the trigger and pop this kid. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? And the first thing I saw when I saw Rob, I said, dude, he looks smoked the fuck out. What the fuck is that? What type time he on? And come to find out, Rob is smoking now. So now they got a can of worms that's opened up with this guy. That's, with Rob with this killing, and he's smoking and whatnot. We see Franklin over at the office talking to his wife. He learns of the situation on the TV, I believe. So he goes over with Peaches, and they sit at Rob's crib, make sure the coast is clear. And they go inside, and obviously you can see Rob strung out, and Franklin's looking like he's seeing it like, damn. And I kept telling my girl the whole time, I said, yo, something gonna happen to Rob. I'm telling you, something gonna happen to Rob. And sure enough, it does. But anyway, they get Rob up on out of there, and they take him down to Franklin's old house, kind of where he could clean up. And I guess Wanda's actually been staring there as well at Franklin's old house. So she's working at like a call center, sex call center for some Asian guys. And the people on the phone ask just some wild stuff, and she's like, you want me to step on your nut? You want me to do what? You want me to smack it? She's straight hood. She like, yo, what the hell type time these motherfuckers on this shit? So I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, yo, this is fucking stupid as hell. I like the fact that how she was talking to Rob, though, and she was like, listen, I've been where you've been at before. Like, I'm telling you now, this is it's going to be hard. This is the hardest part. But you could do it. You could beat it and shit. Because you see he going through the crazy withdrawals and shit. So I like that little conversation they had. You know what I'm saying? Or she was kind of telling them and coaching them, like, listen, I've been where you've been at. Yada, yada, yada. And I thought that was dope. We see that they're trying to find a killer because obviously the killing happened in the Hollywood Hills, I believe. And they don't know who it is. I think Rob told them it was like some black guy. So they go to the hood and they head busting. He got information from a CI, he said, and was told that it was somebody at this house. And they go into like a functional house where it's just a modern black family in the hood. And, they throwing the house out, and they got people on the lawn arrested. And we get this cop who we saw in the trailer, who I know is going to be a problem. He's talking to the lady, the mom of the house, and she's trying to cuss him out. And he's like, yo, get the fuck out of my face. And she's like, no, I want your badge number, blah, blah, blah. And they hem her up. I'm like, oh. He gets in the car. He looks all frustrated. So I'm like, okay, he going to be the antagonist of this season, too, as far as the police officer. But then you find out later on that he's working for Louis' damn ass. So she goes to meet him, and, her and Jerome are in the office, and he's like, yo, you want me to go with you? And she like, nah. But we wind up learning that he wants some information now because he's been helping Louis and them on the streets, keeping their names out of certain shit. But he's getting like kind of like it looks like dead ends at the fucking station. So he like, yo, I need y'all to give me something. And Louis like, I ain't no snitch. And he like, yo, listen, I even help y'all or I hurt y'all. So you got to give me something or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's not really snitching. You know what I'm saying? That's you gotta that's just throwing them a bone or some shit. You gotta give them little something. Shit. You can make up some shit or shit. Man, I don't know. I guess it is snitching though, cause I'm about to say you could just tell on the competition and then you know what I mean, try to get them knocked off or something. But I guess that's all the same thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens to it. Okay, let's see where else we at. Why is these? I can't stand this. Anyway, we see that it's a party going on. It's a party going on. It's a party going on. It's a party. Lottie 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 lottie. All right. We see that at a Yo, listen. I love that talk Leon and Franklin had in the house, man. That was so dope about the about when Rob killed, and you can see the concern on Leon's face when he was like, "Yeah, man, I heard what you did to Rob." Because I don't think Franklin was gonna tell him, but Jerome wind up telling him. Yeah, so they take Rob on this trip, and I'm thinking they taking him to a rehab, but they taking him to find this kid Josh, and they giving Rob's like, "Yo, can I see the piece?" So they pull over, and I'm like, "Okay," he get a piece out, and Frank's like, "Yo, I got to piss." And they take Rob they want Rob to do it because that's his friend. So they like, listen, it's your situation. You got to handle it. And this kid, Josh, is a shooter, bro. I'm telling you, man. This nigga, he seen Peach's gun. He nigga pulled out the shotgun like, yo, what the fuck? At first, he was doing some trailing shit when he got there. He got serious as hell with that shotty. And he fucked up when he put it down. When he set it down, I said, oh, he done fucked up. Peaches grabbed that joint. And then Rob shot like 5 times and missed him. Finally got him in the shoulder. And then he was just like, he tried to get it for the gun to Franklin or Peaches, like, yo, I can't do it. They like, man, finish it. And then he went over and finished it. So they burying the bodies. And at this time, I think Franklin still was going to kind of let him live. But Josh in the house did mention something about the CIA. He was just like, yo, can't you call your guy or some shit like that? And he was just like, this thing. And then the last straw that broke the camel's back, when they burying the bodies and Rob started hitting that pipe. So he knew he wasn't just on coke, he was on that crack. And I think he made his mind up right then and there that it wasn't even worth it. And he shot him, man. He popped his own boy. So even Peaches was looking shook, like, yo, what the fuck? So, yeah. But even prior to that, they wind up meeting with Jerome and Louis, Franklin and his wife. They wind up meeting with Jerome and Louis, and they're telling about this development idea they have, and they need $10 million and blah blah blah. And they were asking about Rob or what it needs to be done. Prior to that, they talked to him. And they were just like, yo, he was like, yo, I'm going to clean him up, send him to rehab, blah, blah, blah. She was like, yo, that's cool because we need his part of the territory. Like, he brings in a lot of money from the Hollywood, so, we do need that. But then the plan shifted, I think, once Franklin seen that he was hitting that stem and how bad he was really hooked on that shit. And when they went to confront Josh, knowing that he had told Josh, he had spilled that information when he told Franklin he didn't, so he like lied to him right to his face. So I think right then and there, Franklin decided that he was gonna kill Rob. And I want to say it hurt Franklin, but man, Franklin then kind of knocked off people that was maybe a little closer to him than that. We see Wanda at the call center. She winds up quitting because her check's short, and she tells old boy he tries to get her to come like sit on his lap like the other lady was doing when she got in the office. And she goes and plays it off, and she just knocks his coke. And we see him doing lines. She knocks his plate up. And she like, nigga, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. And he like, oh, yeah, what else you think you going to get a job like this sitting on your ass? And we learned that she's having a hard time getting a job for the simple fact she's a recovering addict. And, they say, your past comes to hunt you, She's fucked up on that shit. She done burnt so many bridges and did so many things. It's hard for her to find work. And she's being completely honest with people, telling them. And Leon's like, yo, stop telling people that. But she's like, yo, it's part of my recovery. I got to be honest, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, yo, can you put me on? And he's like, listen, hell no, I'm not bringing you back down here to work for me. Like, you crazy? I don't know why she would think that was a possibility. But she did. But anyway, at the meeting, after Franklin and Louis and Jerome are meeting about this business plan, Jerome's like, man, that's all the money we gonna have. How long it's gonna take us to make this money back? Franklin's like, about 2 or 3 years. But listen, it's clean money. That's what we in it for. And then we learned that Grady is also invested in Franklin's business dealings. That we don't, that we didn't really know about. So we see right then and there, Franklin tells Louis and Jerome about that, what he had to do to Rob, and they was just like, damn. And Louis was just like, man, was it hard? And he was like, yeah, it was hard, but he was like, oh, he was hitting that pipe, man. He couldn't be trusted. I'm like, damn. Peaches is sick. Just thought I'd throw that in there. So he wasn't really up to his usual self. So they had him sick for some reason. But anyway, we learned that Franklin's pregnant with a kid on the way, so things are changing. We learned his girl is super organized. She color coordinates everything with her calendars. And she's a smart girl. And Franklin tells her, like, listen, do you got my loyalty? Or do I have your loyalty? And she's like, yo, 100%. And he gives her, like, some, I guess, like, full control or something, or a big percentage of a project they got going on or something. I don't know. I wasn't really, I didn't really know what the fuck was going on. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. But, yeah, man. Listen, I like how this episode kind of was, a reintroduction. So at Grady's house, we see a guy come in, and he's a cable, like looking like he's a telephone inspector, or like a light guy. And I'm like, yo, that look like Reed. Sure enough, come to find out it's Reed, and he's at Grady's house, and he's telling Grady like, yeah, man, it was a surge, blah blah blah. And Grady's hip to it though, because he's like, dude, it's Sunday. Like, when do cable people come out? Or not cable, but light people, electric people come out. And then, he winds up leaving, and Reed's trying to get back desperately. So he has a meeting at a bar, I guess, with the guy who's ahead of everything. I think it's the guy that kicked him out. And he kind of just blows Grady in. He got pictures of him. He's like, yo, this dude is sleeping with one of the Franklin's bodyguards. He's in bed with one of his ass. Like, he's just throwing him in under the bus, telling everything he's doing. So he's like, yo, and he's like, he's been stealing money. I was like, Reed is a sucker, man. And dude, like, listen, why don't you want to hang with your family? Like, you out of it now. And we see the flashback. Reed family got a whole new stepdad. So Reed doesn't really have anything except his job. That's all he has. So with that being said, it's like, yo, what the fuck else can I do? What am I going to do? And then, so he has no other choice but to get back into this game. And that was said by Grady, too. Grady even put that on the table. He's like, let me guess. Your family's gone. They probably think you're an idiot. Your wife's fucking somebody else. And he was just like, yo, you probably begged your way to get back in here. They probably, because honestly, they didn't give a fuck. They honestly didn't give 2 fucks. He really did beg his way to get back in there. So that's what happened. And he gives Grady an opportunity. He's like, listen, man, this is your last choice. I'm going to give you a chance to leave. Grady is like, listen, start talking, popping his shit. Man, I ain't going nowhere, blah, blah, blah. Because Reed was like, yo, I'm going to come back to the house tomorrow. I need all your shit gone. And Grady like, yeah, I ain't going nowhere. You tell him I'm such and such. I would start giving names. But when he said that, I said, oh, he done. He done. Sure enough, we see him on the bed. He's drinking something, and he just fucking kills over. Reed poisoned him, his go-to move. And he comes back and talks to him, and he's like, let's let you know this wasn't it wasn't personal. It was just about the way you did your job or some shit he said. But then he goes to meet Franklin. And Franklin was looking crazy. And the guy said this to him earlier. He was like, yo, how is it going to be working with an asset when you killed his father? So we do got confirmation that Alton is gone. Reed killed him. He's no more. Yeah, so that's confirmed. A lot of people were speculating if he really did it or not. And who knows? He might pop up later. But nah, he's out of here. That one's out of here. And Franklin knows that. So when they meet up and he comes to Franklin's house, which is bombed, by the way, Franklin's house is crazy. He's looking like, what the fuck is this dude here? and he's hearing Reed out here talking, and he noticed he's talking about Grady and he's speaking about past tense. So he's like, yo, why you keep speaking about him in past tense? And then, Reed's still going on a tangent. And then he tells Franklin, like, yo, he's out. He's no more. And he was like, yo, can we continue to work together? Blah, blah, blah. And Reed, like, pretty much it's going to be how it was. It's going to be a little stricter. No more partying. The business y'all got, sell at, because we could use the cash or some shit. He just come in changing everything. And I said right then and there, when they were sitting next to each other, when they was in the apartment with each other, I said one of them gonna have to end up killing each other. That's the only way, because they definitely not on the same page no more. Especially with how cool and lax this Grady dude was, it's a wrap. So I'm like, that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna end up knocking each other off, or one of them is. And then I was out thinking that the trailer came on during the commercial, and Franklin said that and was like, yo, one of us gonna have to kill each other. And we see that when he asked Reed for the cigar, Franklin had the banger right in the cigar case. He was ready to take him out. And then at the end, he's like, yo, don't call me Reed, call me Teddy, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, man, it's over. Anyway, dope episode, great introduction. Like I said, it was an introduction episode to kind of all the characters, see what was going on, how everybody was. We also seen Gustavo cutting up somebody or killing somebody for no apparent reason. We left out that part when Reed goes to meet with him. There's a bunch of parts I left out as well. You can post them in the comments, but I think I covered all the basis of all the main stuff. I didn't see what happened with the country cousins. They didn't bring them up, so I don't know if they're going to be incorporated. But hey, man, I liked it. After this, make sure you like, subscribe, stay tuned.